What? I like the Patriot. I never saw the Patriot. Was that the one with?
The Patriot was pretty good. The Patriot was actually pretty good.
Song, right?
How about Trey Parker and Matt Stone totally wussing out on making fun of Trump?
We knew that was gonna happen.
You mean libertarians?
Didn't they announce that though like a year ago?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
no,
announced that like a year ago,
that.
and they made fun of Trump for an entire year. I don't want to seem like I'm defending them, but I think they were kind of doing... Also, by the way, there's so much dead Nazi juice all over the place. That's like 4. I think they're kind of doing it like, we're not going to keep beating a dead horse. Which...
Oh, no, they're
If they would have said that, I would have been totally fine with it.
Their first, it's been announced twice. The first time they're like, nothing we could come up with could be an equal parody of the current administration.
Mm.
And then they've retconned to be they want to focus on childish antics and not political jokes. Which,
okay, fuck that then.
The first one,
they had an entire season that was
season
a big
of
political jokes.
Yeah. Right. So the first one's a decent excuse. Second one is what I call every libertarian comment ever. Because it's just like, oh no, we're making fun of this thing, but now we're responsible for an entire nation saying, oh, we want to vote for a church sandwich or a douche, and that was something that people were saying, and now it's kind of our fault that some people felt that way, and we don't want to deal with it.
Thank you, Mikhail Kongen DK, for the follow. Also, take a look at this. Great physics,
that is over
right?
100 dead Nazis, actually.
Yeah, we've done our job, but we're not done yet. Also, this
That's pretty sexy.
This Nazi right here defined the law of gravity. Fuck it.
Yes, Colonel Fuck it.
But yeah, no, like, it's a total cop-out, and it's that whole, like, oh, we want to play in the middle of the road, and we don't want to take a side, and it's like, no, I mean...
Which is, like, had they not done 2 seasons worth of fucking political commentary?
Yeah, they literally made an entire... They literally did an entire season where Garrison was Trump for all intents and purposes.
And it's not even that. If you look at South Park ever since season 5, it's been very much this political and social commentary type of show. So much so that a lot of the stuff that they've done has made it into the regular lexicon. Like, the Wookiee defense that they used with the Johnny Cochran episode is an actual legal defense now. It's used in actual legal defense. Stuff like that has just bled over, like douche and turd sandwich. That's an obvious joke. But it's a legitimate phrasing now.
It's a joke from like over a decade.
Yeah. So like they're long past being able to say, well, we don't want to do political commentary. If you even got rid of the last 2 seasons, that's all they've been doing since season 5 is political and social commentary. And they've given it to both sides. But now they're just kind of wussing back because I guess they're scared that Trump's going to come after them like he does everybody else.
Oh, I mean, also at times, at times South Park has actually been like, I don't know. It feels like in the season before this last one, they did a couple of things like, especially with the whole I remember when they did the whole PC police thing.
Right. PC principle.
Yeah, I kind of actually, I saw a lot of people disparage that. I actually enjoyed that because for me, that was a very specific kind of person they were making fun of. Not necessarily people asking for things to be equal and genuine equality, but people championing causes that weren't theirs to try and get a reward, aka 95% of white dudes who call themselves feminists.
Right.
And
just people in general who take...
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, Tom, but I don't think they actually handled the subtlety for that.
No, they didn't.
They also fucking dropped that ending hard, and it's just like, okay, so...
Yeah, I was surprised.
Is owned by aliens, and this is where you go with this, and I mean, that's their big policy. Like, they'll make one good joke, and then just not know when to end it.
It's like if you took a Family Guy joke and stretched it across an entire season.
They've been doing that now for an entire...
So, if a Family Guy for about 80 minutes is existence.
I was disappointed because I wanted to see where that story arc was going to go, and I felt like I felt like they did do rag on the PC bros pretty well, because that's just how a lot of them are. They're all full of themselves, and they don't understand actual social justice issues, and they latch onto it either because they want to get laid, or because they want people to view them as these virtuous and special individuals, and that they should be lauded and held up.
Yeah, those dudes hella exist.
Right.
Right. Hell, oh, very, very life is strange.
South Park.
I rarely ever use the
so
word hella, but when I do,
Right.
in appropriate situations.
It's a deal with time trial lesbians, but
Yeah.
man, life is strange.
I mean, they had a joke about making fun of people who are against immigration by having a bunch of dudes have a giant fuck pile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Goobak episode.
Yeah. I think the problem South Park, aside from the edgy stuff, is like they try doing like live takes, and they're not good at that kind of shit. Because spoilers, comedy is really hard, and like I don't want to discourage people from trying new shit, but like if something's not working.
Also,
yeah.
I think a little bit, a part of it definitely has to. Also, by the way, we just ate dog food. Champion of the free
do that
world.
on the regular, but
Right.
You can only really write cutting edge, like, to be really good at satire, you kind of have to be, like, very on the edge of awareness. Otherwise, you end up being, like, the Meet the Spartan, like, style people. And
yeah, oh god, yeah.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone are pushing, like, 50. They
Right.
are the age of, like, how can you be a non-establishment when you're at this point, your words have been put into a fucking lexicon. You are the establishment. You get old, and then it becomes harder and harder.
At this point, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
No, they have a hit Broadway show and like a hit TV show. So like they are as fucking cutting edge as a circle.
But also, I disagree to an extent, because if you didn't start out as the establishment, just because you kind of become established, I would say doesn't necessarily make you the establishment. And if it did, I'd still say that if you could still fight the establishment while being a part of it, doesn't that make you more legitimate? Because you didn't come from that. You weren't born into that.
You can do more damage in a system than out of it, for sure. But
Right.
that requires
What damage have they done?
that requires active effort to stay relevant and knowledgeable of things, and I don't think they're willing to do that.
No, I mean, we've come a long way from when they were outraged by not being allowed to show the Prophet Muhammad in episode 200. And that was a big deal because, it was undercutting their artistic creativity. It was kowtowing to actual terrorist threats because they were forced to take it off. Comedy Central took it off because they didn't want Trey Parker and Matt Stone to get killed.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't that also technically offensive to actual, practicing Muslims that aren't radicalized?
Yeah. Well, again, this goes back to their edgelord style of humor.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm sure they heard from a couple of their Muslim friends like, oh, it really doesn't offend me, and said, well, then we should be able to do it.
Right.
Because that's unfortunately a very...
I don't know, they seem like the kind that wouldn't care, but it's kind of hard to say that now considering the stance that they've taken.
Right, it's like, we don't get political, and then, but you've gotten political plenty times in the past, so,
And to be fair, I'm trying to be fair because I understand, because I actually have a couple friends who are Muslim, and I understand where they're coming from. But to be fair, you can't expect every person on the planet to never do a picture of Muhammad. You can't.
I mean, I'm not gonna,
I'm not trying to say something wrong or anything. I'm not trying to encourage it, but at the same time, you have to kind of be semi-realistic about it and understand that you can't stop every single person from doing that.
No, but that's what they're trying to have, and they were doing, they knew damn well what they were doing. It's the difference between doing something for scholarly or on educational purposes. They were doing it for the jokes, and Product said it's dating, right?
And
I guess you're
Aegis, you are just in time for the Muhammad conversation.
And
it's actually a branch up from the South Park conversation, but
and they are very closely related. But
Yeah, I mean-
Provnik has a good point, and I'm just gonna read that out. South Park is just at the point where its kind of humor, which was cutting edge and jarring 20 years ago, is no longer the case. The style of humor is no longer pushing it. It's kind of stale and just more of the same.
Right, and it's stopped being like these young bucks who are, you know, kind of shake comedy up.
Well, I mean, technically that is absolutely correct in the year of our edgelord 2017.
Right, now there's edgy dads who own houses in, like, in Colorado saying, hey, you know, look at all these nerds, they're triggered, lol. And it's just like, okay. That's,
And that, you know,
that's
what
that's
really
cool
gets
take.
me about the whole trigger thing is the people who make jokes about people getting triggered are the same people who talk about how they're pro-veteran.
Right, or the ones who yell at fucking NPR Twitter about tweeting the fucking American pilots.
I screamed in joy because it was just the most beautiful example of how full of shit those people are. These fucking people who sit behind the fucking Constitution that they don't even know the words to. It's beautiful.
I mean, how many seasons has South Park technically had? They're on what, 20 what?
21, I think, right now.
Yeah.
People who were born on a South Park episode can drink legally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
21.
I can only think of The Simpsons that has gone that long.
Well, yeah, Simpsons. Oh,
And
also, keep in mind, like, South Park also has, like, what, how many episodes?
Oh man,
Oh,
if
God.
they're not at 300, 400 already, they're pushing it.
Right, yeah. The Simpsons are pushing 700 now, so, like...
Well, yeah,
not
it's because Simpsons
yeah.
have more episodes per season, whereas South Park,
Right.
they've actually been cutting it back.
Yeah, that, like, that's... Like,
I can kind of understand why South Park, like, I mean, you've guys seen how a South Park episode is basically made, right? Like, they make their episode literally within a week and then they air it. And,
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
that's kind of insane. I'm not gonna
Hey,
lie.
like,
That's
by choice too. Like,
it is by
Well, they did that
absolute
so that they
choice.
could stay up to date on the current things. Like, the best example was the Obama and McCain episode.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They actually changed the episode to make up for the fact that Obama beat McCain.
Right.
No,
They didn't have the rest of that episode done.
What they did for that one was because they interviewed on them and said, how did you guys decide which episode to go for? And they said, we went with Vegas odds.
Vegas odds.
They looked at, right at that moment, who would win the presidential election was the hottest Vegas bet, you know. So they looked at the betting odds for who would win, McCain or Obama, and odds favored Obama, so they went with that. They're like, if it's good enough for Vegas, it's good enough for us.
I could have sworn I read something where they had to change or they had to do something to the ending as after the election happened. I don't know. Whatever. We'll go with Vegas odds.
Yeah.
See if you can remove this beam from your possession.
So I mean, that's 120th the Nazis, which with half an hour to go. Nice.
Yeah, you're not even out of the starting level.
Yeah, we're still
Which happens now, right?
we're still in the past technically.
Yep.
Oh right, we're pre-coma. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, what, you ain't got churches in England? You ain't got no priests there? Yeah.
Man, between Wolfenstein 2 and Far Cry 5, it's gonna be a good year for real patriots.
Yeah.
I've heard some weird things about Far Cry 5, which has me a little upset.
What's that?
That is not. It doesn't, like, it's not anything special.
Well,
Well,
once
It may just.
It's
it
Far
may-
Cry.
Yeah, but it may just be less like. So I'm gonna Austin Walker, he's the editor-in-chief of Vice Games Waypoint, launching a super accessible Patreon for his D&D podcast. He's
cool.
He got a hand-on build of that during Judges Week at E3, and he said there's some cool stuff in it, but he's not sure if it's like, it's gonna be the hot fire everyone wants it to be.
You know
Which
what
is-
it is with that game though? I'm not like it looks like a generic third person, first person shooter,
Well,
whatever.
here's
it
the
is.
thing. So like, you could create characters in this game, right? We all know that you could play any sex, whatever, all that fun stuff, right?
Okay.
yeah.
Now is that going to be reflected in the game? Like, are these dudes going to call you the N-word if you play as a black character?
Ooh, that is true.
Because like, like, I mean, on paper, I mean, like, that sounds kind of shitty. I'm going to say it, but like, if they want to go full, like, you're dealing with a cult, like, they have to go full racism, not just like.
Oh yeah, they'd have to do the Mafia 3.
Right, right, and I'm not sure if Ubisoft will be doing that, you know.
Now that you put it that way, yeah, I feel like Ubisoft's gonna pull back and not because I want to hear it said over and over, but I really want the true satisfaction of taking out a racist.
Right, yeah, like, or they gonna be like generic military militia guys in the Midwest, you know.
I know that's just weird sounding.
212 for the follow.
Yeah.
It's just like
whoa, you got mic things going on. All right, you say?
No, I was just saying, like, I know how odd that all sounds, but, like, I mean, if this guy's coming up at you and shouting racial epithets at you, it just makes that shooting him in the face so much sweeter.
Right. Well, it's like, you know, they want to make money off like militia types. They have to go hard, or it's
oh yeah.
It's basically it's Secret Empire.
They're
like,
skirting really hard with the Christian extremism, because you know how. It's funny because they're like, we're not extremists, we're gonna fucking kill you and boycott your game and fuck you. It's like, okay, you've proven you're not extremists.
Right, but like, is that gonna reflect in the game, or just gonna be like, hey guys, like we're not racist, we're just bad. It's like, oh, that's
come with me, boy.
Like when they take the swastikas out and they add that fake Nazi symbol that they made for the old Wolfenstein game.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, like
they're Nazis, but they're not.
If you're gonna do commentary, do it right or don't do it at all.
They were
Nazis light.
They were not Nazis.
I'm so proud.
That's an XCOM joke. How dare you?
I'm so proud. But yeah, no, you can't go light on that kind of shit. Especially if you're erring on the side of good. You have to make them what they really are. You can't sugarcoat it.
Right, exactly. Like, you know, like I don't want bulk. I want something like surreal. Otherwise, I'll pay fucking $20 for the game. It's better.
Yeah.
Speaking of indie games doing better, isn't Daddy Dream drop soon?
What?
Which game?
The Daddy's game.
Dream Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, Daddy Dream. Yeah. That's gonna make a lot of nerds a lot of money.
Oh yeah. Well, it's gonna make a lot of money off of nerds.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah, it's Game Grumps and a bunch of their friends. Seems like.
Yeah.
Like Skyland's doing one of the voices, I think.
I wish Sterling would do a voice, because that'd be funny.
Is he tight with them? I don't know how he's like. The only streams I watch are ours because I don't want to rip off anyone and be unlazy. So.
That explains why nobody comes to my streams.
I mean, that's not true. I also watch our Canadian friends, and occasionally I go and yell at the stream. But like, I'm curious to see how that game's gonna go over. Seeing how this seems to be a bunch of hype for it, and I feel like Tumblr hype generally does generate capital. Undertale seems to be doing okay for itself.
Yeah. Hey, it's the best game ever made.
Yeah, according to GameFAQs.
Yeah.
Oh, right, GameFAQs. That's a.
And I never ever hesitate to remind people of that because I know how much it pisses some people off, and it's so good.
Oh yeah, wasn't there a whole bunch of like shitty people being shitty about that?
God, it was the second that it was announced, it fucking salt all over the internet. It was beautiful.
I mean, like, I don't know. I really like the game. I think the game did a lot of stuff right. I wouldn't call it the best, but yeah, a lot of nerds got mad about that, and that's funny to me because like, when's the last time a game could use fucking Paul Madden or anything? Oh yeah, sorry, the game audio and Tom's mic.
Yeah, it'll be over quick.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Tom sounds like he's in a hailstorm of shit. He's like, yeah, guys, yeah, you know, it's running sideways here in White Plains.
Frau Engel is probably the scariest person in this entire game.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Daddy Dream game, I have kind of mixed feelings on it, and by kind of I mean very mixed feelings on it.
Let's hear your takes.
I am glad that it exists. I'm glad that there's a game that, you know, a game centered around gay relationships that has a ton of diversity.
Right.
How much does that diversity mean when the people who made it are straight white dudes?
Huh. So you're saying it's like limited diversity.
Like, I don't want to say that it's bad, because it's not.
Right.
I'm glad it exists.
Right.
It's a cool thing that there's a game popular about gay relationships. Also, thanks to you, Tetsuo Kling, for the follow. I'm glad that there's a lot of, a game for gay people.
Right.
And I haven't played it yet, so I can't really talk if it's for, gay people or,
Not this one. Somebody broke it already.
straight girls into boys' love. But I'm glad it exists. I'm glad that there's a game with, the cast is diverse as fuck. At the same time, though, like, it would have been cool to have, like, gay people involved in it, like.
Yeah, no, that's a valid argument.
Like, I'll give another example. For people who listen to the Adventure Zone, one of the new characters in the Adventure Zone is a fucking awesome trans woman.
Okay.
Thank you, Provink, for the follow. Or Provnik. I don't know why I said the first one. But yeah, one of the new characters is a trans woman, and she fucking rocks.
Right.
They don't, like, it's not even like a thing harped upon, or it's just something like, it's good representation. At the same time, though, it's representation from cis straight men, like.
Right, yeah, and like that's, I mean, like, I'm not gonna bash the McElroy brothers for doing their own thing, because like I think Taz got bigger than they planned it. They planned to get go, but they got some criticism that is kind of unfounded. I think.
Yeah.
Regarding like representation and whatnot, but like I get you coming from Don. It's no different like when Marvel said, "Oh, when Marvel was counting their diversity horn and most of their books are written by white dudes." So. But yeah. Yeah, no, that's a valid point. I thought someone was, like, I know. Wait, is this guy Williams gay? But it's a voice actor.
This is
okay,
the
I feel really shitting answer that question, but like, yeah.
But I'm cool. I'm glad they're making it. I'm glad they're getting a lot of artists involved.
Yeah.
There wasn't any lag in game. I didn't realize that you were making the choice there.